Hey Josh, hey Corey, hey Robert.
Hey, how you doing?
Pretty good, thanks. Yourself?
Good. Digging the background music.
We're actually live on YouTube as well now. So we're going up in the world.
Moving up.
We're just waiting for Carl, and I think Felix needs to jump back in.
Or raise a hand in the chat, I think.
Fantastic, yeah, just brought him up. Nearly there. Tristan, do you want to start sharing the screen just to see if it's working normally? Awesome. Sounds good. Let me just turn this timer off and I think we can get started. Awesome. Trish, just confirming you can hear me normally. Awesome. Cool. Hey everyone, thank you for coming to this and being part of this 5th community town hall from the dYdX ecosystem. Firstly, I think it's great to see all these familiar faces and familiar names in the chat, and it's great to see some new faces coming to these, especially the validators and other key stakeholders within the ecosystem. It's awesome to see you guys participating more and more within the community. There's been a lot happening over the last few months on all fronts, from community members, grantees, the operations subDAO, the DGP, the foundation and trading. So it's exciting that we can really collectively discuss the progression happening from everyone here and share that more broadly. To give the newbies to the town hall an overview of how this is usually structured, we usually have stakeholders in the dYdX ecosystem come up and present some of the recent activity that they've been involved in. Usually this is about a 5 to 10 minutes discussion from their end. We usually have around about 5 to 10 teams come on here on a monthly or bi-monthly basis. Just as an example, last town hall we had Skip, Strangelove and others come on to discuss the exciting work they're doing in the dYdX ecosystem and community more broadly. So this town hall, we have Charles Dorsey, who's the CEO of the dYdX Foundation. He will talk through a Q3 recap and what to look out for in Q4. We have Corey, who is a senior product manager for dYdX Trading, a regular on these town halls, and hopefully will share some of the insights behind the workings of the dYdX trading team. We have Carl from the DGP, who is also a regular, and I know he's bringing on Robbo and Felix, who have recently onboarded in the community ecosystem grants distribution initiative and a trustee, respectively. We also have Valentin and Dimitar, which is awesome to see. They are both newbies within the dYdX ecosystem within the last kind of few months or so. They are new contributors to the Operation subDAO, so it's extremely exciting to hear from them and what they've been working on. We also have Josh, who heads up governance at the dYdX Foundation, who is an old timer and will run through some of the recent proposals and wants to potentially pay attention to kind of really in the foreseeable future. Lastly, on my end, just a few bits of housekeeping. Please keep the questions in the Q&A on topic. I'll pay attention to these as the kind of town hall progresses, and we can direct them to the appropriate team member toward the end of the AMA. Obviously, last time we didn't really have much time to do some discussion, so hopefully we'll have a little bit of time just to answer some of those questions. We'll do our best to stick through the 5 to 10 minutes of each timing per participant here and move swiftly through. And lastly, just to pick up on the cadence of these, we're committed now to do these every month. This will obviously be led by the foundation and or any other community member who decides they want to participate. So we're really excited for that to happen. And as a reminder, this is currently being recorded and live streamed on YouTube. So yeah, if you don't want to say anything, then by all means, don't post any questions in the channel. Okay, let's get started. Charles, over to you.
Thanks a lot, James, and welcome again, everyone. A few words from the foundation. I know there is a few newcomers into this town hall. The foundation is essentially designed and has a mission to support the growth of the dYdX protocol ecosystem by enabling communities, developers, and decentralized governance. You know quite a few people from our teams. They are all over the world. They attend events. They join different conversations on various social media channels and are very active. So thanks again to all the dYdX team for all the work you're doing. It's very impactful and very, very much valued by the community overall. In Q3, we are heading towards the end of Q3. The foundation has been extremely busy. One of the highlights is a semi-annual report, which you can download here if you haven't looked at it yet. It really gives a snapshot of 6 months of activity within the ecosystem. And as you know, there is multiple parties, multiple subset of the community working on specific verticals and specific topics. So we try to give a snapshot for the community overall and making sure that we highlight all the good works from everyone. So please have a look at this semi-annual report. We plan to publish one also early next year to get some kind of bird view on 2023 before starting 2024. In terms of events, the foundation has been attending quite a few events. We were at the Korean Blockchain Week. We were at Token 2049 in Singapore. Messari mainnet events is also attended by some dYdX representative. We were at EFCC, at Nebula Summit in Paris, and many more. I think the big highlight for me when I joined some of these events is how much the community overall of the crypto industry is appreciative of all the good work we are doing as a group and as a community. And there is some kind of pressure also on our shoulders. Many people expect a lot from dYdX, so that's very positive signal, and it really shows how much attention we have. So for us at the foundation, we stay humble, we stay busy building. But it's also very encouraging to see how much attention there is on our work at the foundation and in the ecosystem overall. So thanks everyone again for that. The DAO will be touched upon later on, but I think it's very also strong signals and very great news to see that the ecosystem of DAOs within the dYdX ecosystem is growing stronger and seeing more talents joining the Operation DAO is also very much great help for everything we're building together. The foundation has been publishing an overview of the potential migration of dYdX from Ethereum to the dYdX chain. I really invite you to have a look at this piece of work here to kind of get a refresher on all the potentials we have ahead of us, and expect more blog posts from us as well on our views on what the ecosystem of dYdX can potentially achieve, and yeah, stay tuned for that. We'll touch on the CTA on governance a little bit later. Maybe we can move to the next slide. Thank you for that. So yes, just to kind of look forward at Q4, there is for the foundation some kind of work and support with the subDAOs, grants and operations, Operation DAO. So we are really big fan and supporters of their work, and whenever we can help in any shape or form, we try to do so. We're also working actively on building up the momentum of the potential launch of the dYdX chain, as well as supporting and giving context to many stakeholders whenever there are newcomers into our space in general. We will be at Cosmoverse in Istanbul next month, so if some of you are joining, please come and say hi. There is a dYdX Connect event organized. There will be a lot of talks from dYdX community members. So that's certainly an event I'm looking forward to. And I would like to encourage really everyone from the dYdX community overall to think on how we will keep expanding the dYdX ecosystem when the dYdX chain will be launched. So all ideas and contributions are very, very welcome. The foundation also welcomes upcoming collaboration with validators. Validators will be keys to the dYdX chain health and performance, and we're very excited to welcome all of you in our community, as well as working with you on the dYdX chain. Maybe we'll move on to the next slide. I have one ask for everyone in this call and beyond this call to the community in general. We have a very important vote happening right now. The deadline for this vote is this Saturday. It's a DIP 27, which in short enables a migration to the dYdX chain. So there is all the details about this vote on dYdX.vote. So you can connect to this website to get the full proposal details and make your mind on how you want to support this proposal. So far, there is 53 million, last time I checked, tokens which are in favor. That represents 100% of support for this initiative, but we need to reach 100 million. So my call to action for everyone is to join us in activating our community members, should they be token holders, validators, contributors, delegates, or community members overall, to really be part of this vote and express their sentiment. Maybe I close here with a quote from Yoda, which we all like. Your path you must decide. So join the votes if you haven't voted yet, and speak to your fellow community members from dYdX to make sure they also vote and participate into this important new chapter for our ecosystem. Thank you.
Thanks, Charles. Appreciate that. Okay, over to you, Corey.
Hey, everybody. Yeah, thanks for having me on. So some updates from our side. You might have seen that we passed $1 trillion in cumulative trading volume on the L2. That was a pretty exciting milestone for us. Obviously, you know, we're building V4, so over time, you know, maybe a lot of that volume will translate over to a new chain. But yeah, nonetheless, it's really a testament to how popular V3 has been. So we were pretty excited about that. Public testnet number 3 was launched last week. So we made a variety of updates from the user perspective, and also just more from like a backend perspective as well. But if you go to the testnet site now, you'll primarily, the main difference you might see is we added a lot of new markets. We think these markets kind of reflect what traders want to trade right now. And we were kind of feeling like the markets that we had before were maybe a little bit stale. So we're pretty excited about adding those new markets. We also enabled conditional orders. So we have stop limits and stop markets, take profit orders, etc., as well, live on the testnet. And we also made a variety of other improvements. Feel free to check out the testnet 3 blog post that was put out. We also open sourced the v4 code, which is a really exciting milestone. So yeah, if you're interested in checking out the actual code, feel free to head to the GitHub and look at all the different repos. There's quite a lot in there. But yeah, obviously we've been working on this for quite a while, and that was a very exciting milestone to share with the world. And then yeah, over the next few weeks, I'd say we're getting very close to basically saying v4 is feature complete, at least for you know, quote unquote mainnet. So from our perspective, we're getting to the end here in terms of finalizing our open source code. I expect that to basically be done by mid-October. And then from there, it'll be up to anyone who wants to deploy a network to kind of take that open source code and do what they will with it. So yeah, that's kind of the update on our end. All good things happening.
Awesome. Thanks, Corey. And yeah, congratulations on those awesome milestones. Okay, let's move to the next slide, please. Carl, over to you.
Thank you, James. Hey, everybody. So a super quick reminder for anybody that might be new, the dYdX Grants Program is a community-led initiative to fund projects that promote the development and growth of dYdX. So both through protocol development and community or ecosystem growth, and kind of spans a wide variety of grants in those areas. In the past month, as most of you know, we were recently approved through a governance proposal for a new 6-month extension to keep running the program using the existing budget on hand. We're super excited to keep the program running and to have that approved. And I feel really strongly that now more than ever is going to be an incredibly impactful time to continue funding contributors and the community to grow and kind of expand and onboard new developers and contributors as we head into v4. And we're already seeing a ton of impactful opportunities appear. And so we're just super excited to keep things going. The extension did introduce a few new things that are really exciting as well, in kind of an attempt to reshape the program and start to kind of introduce new contributors and new systems so that we can continue to scale as we head into v4. So we introduced a few new roles like the grantor and the operator. The grantor takes on the grants lead responsibilities of finding, recommending, and managing grants, while the operator takes on financial responsibilities like managing payments and financial reporting. And in those roles, we also split our funding allocations between 2 categories, the strategic initiatives and community initiatives. And strategic initiatives will focus on kind of protocol infrastructure development and kind of more of that category, while community initiatives will focus on growing the ecosystem, the community, more localized grant efforts. So we've kind of like, you can think of it in like these 2 different funding buckets, and then the allocations will be split between those 2 buckets by the trustees of the grants trust. So Reverie is leading the strategic initiative. So that's myself and the Reverie team, as many of you know. And Robo has joined us on the community initiative. Robo is here with us today. Robo, do you want to just give a quick shout?
Yeah, hey everyone. My name is Robo. I'm leading the community initiatives grants funding bucket. Just briefly wanted to say I've spent the last couple of weeks onboarding into the grants program and getting the chance to talk with a few different dYdX stakeholders to get a better understanding of what the ecosystem's needs are. The community's been very welcoming so far, so I'm very, very excited to jump in and just contribute to this program.
Awesome, thank you, Robo. And as part of the extension, we also introduced 4 new trustees and a new enforcer. The new enforcer is Clifton, as you guys all know, and then we have bunch of new trustees and the lead trustee, Felix, who's here with us today as well. So I thought I'd give him a chance to give a quick hello also. Felix.
Thanks, Carl. Yeah, hey everyone. Felix here. I'm excited to join the dYdX community also as a trustee for the DGP. We've been busy, getting accustomed, looking into the ecosystem, what's happening, setting up the new structure for the DGP, as Carl mentioned. And together with Robo, there is actually another role open that I wanted to quickly mention for the community initiatives grantor. It's on the dYdX forum, on the grants program subpage. Please feel free to apply if you want to participate in giving grants to community initiatives in the dYdX ecosystem. And yeah, really excited to be part of this and help fund the development of the ecosystem and growth.
Awesome. Thanks, Felix. And then finally, on the operator role, we have Lemma Solutions. I think Max from Lemma might be in the crowd here, but I don't see him in the panelist list. So maybe he can just give a quick hello in the chat.
I've got him, Carl. I've got him. I can bring him up.
Okay, cool.
Right. Max, hopefully you should be able to be brought up now. Hey.
There you go. Looking good.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, Max, if you want to just give us a quick hello as the new operator for the grants program.
Absolutely. Hi, guys. I'm Max. I'm here from Lemma. We're coming on board to help with some of the financial operations with the grant program. Yeah, just generally, hey, hello. Been great working with the team so far. Excited to interact with the community more. These guys have been fantastic working with Felix and the team. There's a lot of good projects coming forward. So yeah, we're excited to be involved and very happy to be pushing this all forward.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks, Max, Felix, and Robo for coming on as well. And yeah, we're super excited. We're heads down now, just processing new applications and moving forward with grants. So keep an eye out for new funding rounds. And obviously, if you have any ideas, submit an application on our website, dYdXgrants.com. Thank you, James.
Thank you, Carl. Thanks, Felix. Thanks, Robert. Thanks, Max, as well for coming on. Great. Okay, let's move on to Valentin from the Operations subDAO. Val, over to you.
Thank you, James. Hi, everyone. My name is Valentin. As said, I'm the new operations lead for the Operations subDAO. First of all, I wanted to thank the trustees. They have been exceptional in the past couple of months, and they have completed the hiring for the Operations subDAO. So with me started Dimitar, our technical project manager, in mid-August, and Piotr, our site reliability engineer, has started this week to get his feet wet and will start full-time on the 1st of October. We are also very much in concluding the index of procurement. Dimitar, our technical project manager, will tell you a little bit more about that later. We also published our first update on the dYdX forum. If you want to go know more in depth what we were up to in the past couple of weeks, I invite you to go and check that out and share your feedback and questions in the forum, or feel always free to reach out to me. Most notably, we are also looking for a new role for a forum administrator, helping us with the forum and making the forum or keeping the forum a place for healthy discussions. We published, or we reworked the website of the Operations subDAO. And this is very high on my priority list to make the documentation that we have available to the whole community, so everybody can follow along what we are doing, so that we are transparent with what happens in the Operations subDAO. And so included in the new website is a reworked finance tracking sheet where all our expenses are made public, and you can follow in real time what we are spending and on what. including in that, because I know raw data is really hard to consume, we are publishing monthly spending reports, breaking down the most important buckets each month, and telling everyone this is what we are spending the money that has been entrusted to the operations subDAO on. Currently, we're full steam ahead trying to prepare for a potential V4 launch. For this reason, we understood that the operations trust was not the ideal ground for hosting the services that the community has entrusted the operations subDAO to host. After consulting with ecosystem partners, we decided to incorporate a Cayman exempt company. This is the DOS, dYdX Operation Services. And we are still in the process of setting everything up. But as soon as all the I's are dotted and the T's crossed, we will share more information about the DOS. Yeah, and I will hand over to Dimitar for the index of procurement update.
Thanks, Val. Yeah. So yeah, thanks for the intro. As Valentin said, we are progressing with index of procurement. We are at the final stage. We'll share much more once we have the contract signed. We have identified the potential service provider. Really happy with the choice. I'm really happy we're moving forward with this. It was a big effort, or quite tiring effort on our side, but it was worth it. I think that we established very precious connections with the various partners and potential partners. So really excited that we had this going. As Valentin said, a lot of our the subDAO's communications will be going on forward via the dYdX Operation Services entity. This is mainly for partner communications. To be fair, we'll be choosing this entity because it makes more sense for us to actually be acting from its behalf. To reiterate, the Trusted Grid did a lot of work hiring all of us contractors. They are still doing many things to help and support us into establishing everything necessary for what's coming ahead. And what's coming ahead, well, as Valentin said, the potential launch of V4 is something that the operations subDAO will be very active on. We have so far participated to some extent in gaining knowledge about the last reset, so that we can be much better prepared on how such a public or a potential genesis will look like. I'm looking forward to that. Really grateful for trading for making the software publicly available. This allowed us to actually have a front end running. I will be sharing this as soon as we have some legal barriers removed. For example, we need to be able to provide a proper terms and conditions on behalf of the subDAO and not on behalf of the dYdX trading. So yeah, we set up a bunch of infrastructure entities until now. We have everything almost ready for collecting metrics and providing the necessary insight to what has been run or is running in the umbrella that is the operation subDAO. Piotr is joining us soon. He's right now joining us part-time. Really happy about it. He will be sharing a lot of the things that I have been doing so far, especially around technical setup. We have a big roadmap for the upcoming month and a half, mainly related to the potential genesis. We have encountered many blockers, but actually we have been treating the services, the operation subDAO as a startup, and every startup has many blockers on its way. It's basically a new company, so we are taking blockers one by one. We are as agile as we can, so we are taking everything from the top priority list and tackling it as it comes. Yeah, right now we have, as I said, a lot of the infrastructure already set up. It's just a matter of us turning the switch on and having the metrics running, for example, and having all the monitoring on. Right, what's happening after the big roadmap that I mentioned? Well, so far we've identified that improving the monitoring and the insights on what operations subDAO is overseeing will be crucial for the community. So we'll be probably targeting this and also building a big knowledge sharing base for all the things that we have been doing, so that anyone in the community can actually replicate that and can run a more decentralized dYdX chain. That's from me, James.
Thank you, Dimi. Thank you, Val. Great update. It's awesome to see you guys hit the ground running, and excited to see what the next few weeks hold for us. Awesome. Tris, to the next slide, please. Over to you, Josh.
Hey everyone, hope you're well. Going to be camera off today, sorry. Unstable connection on my side, but just going to give a quick update on everything that's going on in dYdX governance. So for those of you who went through the semi-annual report, you would have seen that there has been quite a few votes in, the second the second year of dYdX governance since the launch of the dYdX token. Over the last few months, we've seen kind of a wide variety of proposals, and I'm just going to walk through a few of the highlights here. I think 5 or 6 of the votes. Worth noting that since the start of 2023, we've seen pretty good governance participation, I would say. It's been the levels of, participation of unique addresses, as well as the total amount of dYdX being voted in a given vote, has remained relatively consistent. It has dropped a little bit, but we're seeing approximately 4.3% of the circulating supply kind of participating in a given vote, which I would say is actually, it may seem low, but it's actually on par, if not better, than a lot of kind of peer ecosystems. Focusing specifically kind of on the items on the side, 2 big votes that have concluded that were on-chain votes were, one, dip23 being launching the dYdX operation subDAO v2. So I think don't need to go into an incredible amount of depth here, given that we've already heard from the great team over at the operation subDAO, but essentially this was a vote to renew the operation subDAO under a new mandate and essentially ask for the equivalent of 6.6 million in funding from the community treasury under the .2 mandate, which included hiring and building out, or scaling, pardon me, the dYdX operations trust team, potentially striking up a services agreement with an indexer service provider, which you've seen forum posts about, as well as potentially hosting a version of the web app and the mobile apps. So for any, I think like further updates on where the operation subDAO is in terms of progress, I think Valentin and Dimitar did a fantastic job kind of giving everybody updates. They also regularly update on the forums and on their website, so would encourage you to check them out there. That vote passed with, almost unanimous support. 73 million dYdX voted in favor of that. Next, we have dip24, which was shifting the LP rewards towards a market maker rebate, and essentially this proposal, the on-chain component of this proposal really involved halving emissions related to LP rewards by 50%. So after the proposal passed in dip26, LP rewards were actually reduced by 50%. I think referring back to the semi-annual report, you'll notice that there is like a theme in a lot of the governance votes over the last kind of 2 years, and that has really been in the increase in the allocation of the community treasury. Initially, the community treasury started as 5% of the allocation, whereas now it is well over 20%. It has increased actually after this governance proposal, the amount of dYdX available to the dYdX community to spend on community initiatives, grants, and really any other kind of initiatives that the community sees fit has increased by 19.2%, which is absolutely huge and fantastic just for the future growth and the future growth prospects of the dYdX protocol and the dYdX community. Do you mind hopping to the next slide, please? Awesome. And I think as of recently, we've seen kind of a flurry of governance proposals, and I think that was anticipated due to the fact that the potential launch of the dYdX chain is quickly approaching. Just to kind of go through these from left to right, the DGP team touched on, I think, the grants v1.5 extension. You know, this was essentially just a vote to extend the grant program under its current mandate for 6 months with the current funding available, as well as some structural changes, including exactly what Carl talked about, creating this kind of two-stream model, as well as replacing some of the trustees and the enforcer role. Moving on, DIP26 was a off-chain vote that involved kind of 5 proposal items. The first 4 were subject to, you know, they were binding off-chain votes, meaning that an on-chain vote wasn't required. If you check out the dYdX community forum, you will find the minimum the minimum requirements for binding snapshot votes, which essentially says that, you know, when something does not need to proceed to an on-chain vote, there are certain other requirements that must be fulfilled for the vote to pass. And obviously this vote did pass, given that 36 million dYdX voted in favor of the dYdX token becoming the L1 staking token of the dYdX chain. There was also a recommendation in there for validators to reference the wrapped ETH dYdX smart contract deployed in reference to the current governance proposal that's going on, as well as a few other items. The last item, which I'll touch on in a little bit, given the current on-chain vote that's going on, is to effectively grant wrapped ETH dYdX the same function and utility as ETH dYdX. We can touch on that in a little bit, but that proposal is currently live and going through an on-chain vote just because it involves upgrading the governance strategy contract. And then finally is the DIP28 amendments to the dYdX operations trust. And again, overwhelming support for this vote, but essentially this vote involved amending the trust agreement for 2 reasons. The first, it was amending the purpose to fit under the .2.0 mandate, which we touched on a few minutes ago, as well as to specifically amend the trust agreement to involve language that all trustees must comply with applicable laws. So I think that's a pretty good overview of everything that has gone on in governance, votes that have closed out. Moving on, I just wanted to take a few moments to walk through the current on-chain vote, which is upgrading, the title is upgrading the governance strategy contract. Essentially, this vote is to enable wrapped ETH dYdX to have the same utility and functionality as ETH dYdX. And really what this is going to enable, if you look at the governance documents that the dYdX Foundation published about the potential migration to the dYdX chain, you see that the wrapped Ethereum smart contract that was deployed by Wintermute actually could enable the potential migration to the dYdX chain for the dYdX token. So the wrapped Ethereum dYdX token, if this vote is successful, will be, well, will be a transferable ERC20 token based on Ethereum mainnet. And the way that the wrapped Ethereum smart contract works is essentially when a user, assuming the governance proposal passes, if it does pass, when a user sends ETH dYdX to the wrapped Ethereum smart contract, they will receive a wrapped Ethereum dYdX token on a one-to-one basis. The smart contract then will, after the genesis of the dYdX chain, of course, will enable validators to go in and read essentially the logs of the smart contract, and it will enable them to credit dYdX chain user accounts so that they receive the same amount of native dYdX or Cosmos-based dYdX tokens on the dYdX chain. They will receive like a one-to-one proportional basis, the exact same amount of dYdX that they sent to the wrapped Ethereum smart contract. So just a quick high-level overview of where the ecosystem is at in terms of that vote right now. This is a long time lock vote, as Charles mentioned in the beginning of this community town hall. And under the long time lock executor, essentially there is a quorum requirement and a vote differential requirement of 100 million dYdX. So currently there is 53 million dYdX that have voted in favor of the proposal, meaning that we have about 46 million dYdX and change to go if the community wants to pass this proposal. Voting ends on September 23rd, I believe at 5 p.m. UTC. So if it is kind of an item of interest to you and you're interested in potentially participating in this governance vote, I would strongly encourage you to check out the governance and staking dashboard that is hosted by the dYdX Foundation. There is also a ton of information available on our governance documents, specifically about the potential migration of the dYdX token from Ethereum to the dYdX chain. You can also check out the community forums where there is more information about the governance kind of DRC, which is a dYdX request for comment, and kind of more information about the proposal lifecycle for this specific proposal. Also, I believe happy to answer questions about it at the end of the community town hall. But that I would say is the major update for everything going on in governance right now. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Josh. Appreciate it. Awesome. Tris, next slide, please. Awesome. So that's everything from this town hall. I guess we can leave it for the next 5 minutes to see if any questions come into the Q&A. Yeah, we'll just allow you guys some time to ask any questions you want. Or feel free to just use the comment section as well to fly your questions in. Corey, one for you on the trading team. Any updates from the trading team on fee sharing in V4?
Hey, no updates beyond what's already been posted publicly. So if you want to learn more about how things will work on the V4 chain, definitely feel free to check out the public blog posts.
Awesome. Thanks. Cool. We'll just give it another minute or so. Yeah, thanks, Josh. I think that's just the host and panelists. I'm just going to post it to everyone. There's the rewards and parameters blog posts. Okay. No. Fantastic. Okay. Guys, we'll call it a day there. Thanks to everyone on the panel for coming on and kind of going through your respective slides. Really appreciate that, and I'm sure that the community do too. Thanks to everyone in the audience who came on and also asking the really good questions and staying informed about what's going on, as Josh, Charles, and everyone said. I think it's a really important time to stay active and know exactly what's going on in the ecosystem. So in terms of the next one, we'll probably schedule one for about 3 weeks from now. We'll post kind of a public calendar so you guys can add the town halls to your calendar if you choose to do so. And yeah, let's end it there. Thanks everyone for your time. See you next time.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.